in a different room.
Here we are.
So that happened.
Just in case you didn't notice.
So, all right, so Nintendo's the first single.
Right.
And like I was saying before, what I love about it is that it's not just a gimmick. It's like actually got some weight to it and whatever.
Thank you. One thing I was going to add to that is, so like I said, I'm super active on like social media, and kind of the main thing that's been supporting me for like building up this record are my fans on social media. So there's been this big build with like, you know, the single Nintendo coming, and everyone's like, what is this song that you're writing about video games? And I'm like, I think when the song came out, people realized that it really is just like, it's like a throwback love song. It's really about a girl. It's got innuendo. It's got all of these things, and it's like not really about video games, which is funny. And like, I think once people hear it, it's obvious, but I've had to explain that a couple times. So, and it, you know, along the lines of being the first single, John, it was the one that I felt like had like reach to people. Like people are being pulled into kind of my universe now, that because it's a little, I guess I want to use the word bigger than me. People are like they sympathize, they like Nintendo, they like the concept. So I feel like it was an interesting way of getting some people into my orbit. And it just happened to be kind of this fun like love song. But the rest of the record is like, and I think we were talking about this earlier off camera before we got together. I saw an interview you did with Moby, and he was talking about kind of his love of multiple genre. And I feel like in pop music right now, which is kind of what I'm really interested in, although growing up, going to music school, like you're seeing the blending of genres. And I think it's like for the best. I think artists were rewarded in the past for kind of like being in boxes, because then you could really package an artist that way, which is great for a label or whatever. But I think just as a nature of technology, the way people are listening to music right now, the way they're shuffling, they're listening to their iPods, their iPhones, and like people are just becoming more diverse with the music they create, I think. You know, like in this record that I just made is like such, for me, an example of that. It's got so many genres. Like we just did a reggae tune, but it's got like a hip hop beat, and it's like rock, and it's singer-songwriter. And for me, that's what I'm interested in. You know, I made a record or two that really was like a singer-songwriter thing, but this finally feels like me. And I fought for this record. I spent 3 years putting this record together, and I think that I'm not alone. I think other artists are doing this, and it's something I kind of, you know, feel in the air. Yeah. It's like you can taste it in the water, and I embrace it like wholeheartedly. Well,
listen, I mean, we live in an age where like there's so many things to just occupy. Yeah, it's like ADD.
You're being
everywhere. And it's
everybody's feeling it too.
And if you don't hook someone within 30 seconds online, you don't hook them at all. Yeah. So like, that's why I thought it was very refreshing, at least for me, to, you know, and I heard Nintendo before you played it, but you could have just sat down at a piano and played, you know, a love song. Sure. But it's totally... I'm not going to say done.
I mean, people... an amazing artist can come along and capture you. But I feel like what I'm interested in is something along the lines of something that brings a few different things to the table. And I think it addresses your point of being pulled in 1,000 different directions. Not only is the attention span a little shorter, but I think people are mixing interests. They're mixing genres. They're mixing... Like, if you look at your Twitter feed, you're seeing someone from like the BBC, and then maybe a hip hop artist, and then maybe your favorite painter. It's like these things are all kind of.
That's a good point. Yeah.
This is what I'm interested as an artist. You know, and I'm interested in this as an artist, I should say.
So I mean, the full length, which is coming out at early 2014, right?
Yeah.
Is it basically like all over the map?
It is
in a good way. I'm saying
in a good way, and it's funny in the past, and I feel like. I think people can use this as a negative adjective, but I think with this record, I kind of nailed it. I mean, first and foremost, it's a pop record. That to me is what, you know, catchy songs are really key. But, you know, in the process of making this record, John, I made like 2 or 3 records. I made a Springsteen record, I made a singer-songwriter record, and what I found was when I just like, the unity was the song structure, the songs, like the writing, it's all like the same voice, but I really did feel like we nailed across a few genres. Like I said, there's reggae, there's rock, there's hip hop like beats, there's like cool like pop vocal stutter production. And to me, it doesn't pull you in 1,000 directions. It comes in this like unified package. I've said this before, like I sleep well at night because I made this record. It's like what I was setting out to do, but it just took a while to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, I say this way too many times in A-sides, but like good music's good music. I don't care if song to song something's different. I really don't care. As long as there's this, you know, constant stream of something going on.
And I don't think you're alone either. I think people are more willing to accept now some diversity. You know, I feel that that's happening right now in music, and that's a great thing. I want to keep pushing in that direction. You know?
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like people just don't have the time if you're gonna like, you know what I mean?
Listen, even if people have the time, they don't make the time. So you really got to do whatever you got to do. Mm-hmm. So I know you're going on the road.
Sure.
How long are you going on the road for? Talk to me about the, plans for a Sega Genesis song, Super NES.
TurboGrafx 16 it just didn't sound very lyrical.
Does nothing rhyme with ColecoVision?
Right,
I mean, come on.
Nothing. I mean, we did get Atari in there. Yeah. That's a little more musical, But yeah, so TurboGrafx 16, Super Nintendo, those were,
We, out of context, wouldn't work.
Right, exactly.
It could mean anything.
Right, exactly. So we're holding off on the sequel to Nintendo.
I want to get everything out of the way so that in your next interview where some, snarky or interviewer is just like, oh, so are you going to be doing a... Funny you mentioned it. I spoke with this idiot in Westchester, and he said, Sega Genesis... I'm just kidding. He covered everything from the blowing in the case, everything.
But you're bringing up stuff that's like a collective experience.
Yeah, Commodore 64. Is that before you? That's got to be before you.
Isn't Commodore 64 pre-Atari? I believe it is. Or maybe.
It could be, or around the same time.
Yeah.
It's like Pong. Was that a game?
Pong.
Yeah,
Pong, yes.
Around that time.
Yes. Good stuff.
Oh, my God. All right, tell me about being on the road.
So, being on the road, as an artist, that's
By the way, if I could just cut in, I hope Nintendo's paying you something. If not now, I hope down the road they...
Absolutely.
Okay. Is that a yes or no?
That's a non-committal answer.
I like it. That's a yes. By the way, you could... my hand's actually in here. Okay.
No, to answer your question, John, this record I finally feel like is the one that presents. I think there was a disconnect for a long time in my let's say catalog, for example.
Right.
People, I think they come to my shows because they get my personality. They like to connect with an energetic kind of party show, and that's who I am as a person. Coming to the my records have been more singer-songwriter. I think I finally nailed who I was on this record. Point being is that live performance has always been my thing. These songs were built to be played live. The reason that the record took 3 years is I would write them, record them, and then take them out on the road. I did tours. Nintendo has been played on a tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I would make sure that these songs reacted with audiences. I didn't want to go out again and play a song that sounded great in the studio and then was kind of ho-hum in front of an audience.
Right.
I was done with that. You know what I mean? And for me, playing live is it's such a big part of my life that it's I need to bring songs with me that will carry me and make me feel great and look forward to playing them. And I think people sympathize with that. So that's the kind of the MO on the tour. We're playing the Southeast, we're playing the Midwest, we're playing the East Coast here, and it's coming up all within a matter of weeks.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
You can't tell me Nintendo's not paying you something. Come on. I can picture the meeting. So I have this song, Nintendo. Sold. Done.
Amazing.
Cool, man. Good luck.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, John. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
It's been awesome.